How to retire in 15 years starting from absolutely nothing. So in this video we're going to look at some maths around retiring after 15 years, some expenditure hacks, some income hacks and some side hustle ideas. This sounds easy, but the reality is much more difficult. Your savings are just your income less your expenditure. So maximize your income, minimize your expenditure, job done. But the problem is you need to stick at this for a very long time, and you don't see any tangible benefit of having the money invested. You're foregoing consumption now for a larger bank balance in the future. And the point is that what you save is more critical than what is your income. Plenty of people have high levels of income, but they just spend all of it on houses, cars, luxury holidays, you name it. Millionaires are everywhere apart from on social media. So if you read the book or get a summary of it, The Millionaire Next Door, that's got some really interesting insights. There's books like The Wealthy Barber that talk about how people started with nothing and then became reasonably well off. I mean, he sold 2 million copies of the books. That's how he made his money. But find real life inspirational stories of people just like you, because retiring early has been done by single people, couples with like 4 children. All kinds of people have achieved it just through having the right mindset. So a savings rate in action. So here I've got £50,000 of after-tax income, and if I save £27,000 a year, the savings rate is 54%, and I retire in 15 years. And I'll put a link to this website in the description, and you can play around with different savings rates and different levels of income, and it'll just pop the numbers out for you. Now these sorts of things are a bit simple, but it's possible that £27,000 of savings is actually a sweet spot, because potentially within that money you could include the employer's contribution to your pension, your own contribution to a pension as part of the automatic enrolment, and then it might leave around £20,000 you can put into an ISA each year. And you're more using an ISA because with a SIP you can only retire like 57, 58. And you could potentially recycle from an ISA into a SIP if you start earning enough money. You can get a 40% tax credit. But you should really use something much more sophisticated, and I'll put a link here to my video on it. This will give you detailed metrics each year. It's got the UK tax system in it, and you can really crunch through the numbers to find out what's going on for your personal set of circumstances. So what's holding you back? Well, housing's expensive. A lot of people buy things just to make themselves happy, although it doesn't really make them happy. You might not really have a career strategy to climb the ladder. You don't talk about money with friends or family, and maybe you've been let down by financial advice in the past. So it's all quite difficult. So financial independence, it could be owning a property outright and being debt free. It could be work where you can do it anywhere and or at times to suit you, maybe becoming more of a freelancer. It could be the ability to live off passive income, which could be property or other investments. Or maybe you just enjoy your work so much that you don't want to stop. Maybe you're Mick Jagger. Do you actually have just like no assets whatsoever? Take stock of your assets and liabilities. If you're contributing to a state pension or private pension, that's an asset. You could have equity in your property if your house is worth more than the mortgage. Maybe it's around the other way. You could also have student debt or a car loan. So you need a budget, whatever you do. This could be an app, it could be a spreadsheet. See this video here for a free budget spreadsheet. You just download it, put your numbers in, and you can start benchmarking and targeting, and what gets measured gets managed. And it's in my playlist of free files. It's really useful. Lifestyle inflation is things like trading up your car. The BMW 3 Series comes to BMW 5 Series. Don't do it unless you're certain you've got the savings to sustain that level of expenditure, not just for now, but for the rest of your life. People are buying tat and they're paying 40% income tax and 20% VAT to acquire it, and it's a real waste. Automate your savings. Your employment pension is already automated, so mimic that with your ISA. Set up a direct debit to pay the money into your ISA account. Pay yourself first, then invest consistently whether the market is up and arguably expensive or whether it's down and arguably cheap. Don't flip between stocks. But note that saving too much money can mean that you miss out on things such as investing in yourself and acquiring things that could really help you, or traveling to somewhere like Southeast Asia that really inspires you and changes your life. So what if you can't live on £23,000 a year? Well, the state pension is only £10,000 and life is going to catch up with you eventually. You've got to do something about it. There's geographic arbitrage, moving somewhere a bit cheaper. You could drive a reliable second-hand car that doesn't cost too much to buy. Apparently a Skoda Octavia is the car of choice. Entertain at home instead of eating out. Give up alcohol. Stop buying branded clothes. And if you want to buy something, just wait a week to buy it, and often the desire just goes away. Happiness and making money. I mean, ideally, you can link everything. Things you're good at, things you enjoy, things you pay well. Everyone has at least one talent. That comes from Jude Law in the film The Talented Mr. Ripley. So you need to monetize a profitable holiday, and you need to kind of niche down. So for example, if you enjoy teaching English as a foreign language, you might want to find a niche around like Japanese students. So you learn a bit of Japanese, they then trust you and they'd rather learn from you than just any old English person, and that way you can charge slightly higher premium on your rates and get going with your business. Maximize income. Okay, so you could get a mentor at work and find out what really you need to do to get promoted. Your career could have a well-trodden path to prosperity, like a sales manager to a sales director. If it doesn't, bit of a problem. Does your job get paid on results, such as commission, or is it really just per hour? So if it is on results, you'll find you can do some amazing deals and make a lot of money in not much time at all. Can you pivot from being an accountant that uses SAP to becoming an SAP expert and an SAP consultant and getting paid much more money? Think like a creator, not a consumer. Consumers eat up resources and they give nothing back. They cling to money like it's in short supply, but they trade their time like it's never ending, when actually it's the complete opposite. Instead, create value and build something. Start a business that solves important problems rather than a business that can be started with no training and no upfront capital. What sort of business is that? So arbitrage, this is so important. You link buyers and sellers who don't even know that the other exists. So here's a rather extreme example of arbitrage. So we've got Jack Ma over here. He's a Chinese billionaire, but he's unhappy. And he wants to buy loads of tat because he thinks that'll make him happy. But he only buys from reputable sources, such as Christie's, the auctioneer, who authenticate all the stuff that's given to them. So this is now you. You might buy things on eBay, at a car boot sale, Gumtree, Facebook Marketplace, or a provincial auction like Dave's Auction House. So if you can acquire stuff, get it authenticated, and then sell it worldwide to rich people, then, oh my God, you can make a lot of money. So it's a bit of an extreme example, but try and think of things in your own life. So for example, I sell old postage stamps, like 100-year-old postage stamps internationally, and some of them are worth their weight in gold, mainly because they're very light, but you can easily post them, you can easily put together these sorts of supply chains. Don't watch YouTube, that's a classic consumer activity. Instead, some people say create your own YouTube channel or community, then you would be a creator. But what about instead you learn search engine optimization or copywriting, and you taught it to people, either one-to-one or in a course, or you consult with people and you kind of just do it for them. Same thing for video editing. And what you have to do is, instead of being like everyone else's spammy offering, you can offer to blow up a YouTuber's video for free, and you can say, I really like your channel, I've subscribed, I comment on your videos, so let's work together, I'll do this for free, and then you can start paying me and you can see the value. And once people understand that, then I think you'll get a very high take-up rate for your services, because you're approaching the market in such a different way. So should I do a side hustle? Well, it can be a good way to start a new income stream. You can do it initially at evenings or weekends. You could be a florist who only works Valentine's and Mother's Day. You'd make a lot of money. Avoid expensive courses. They don't work, and the only side hustle of the course provider is selling expensive courses. So think about that. Who will the first customers be? Well, they'll be family, friends, neighbours. If the first customers are quite easy, then you've got some traction behind your business. I highly recommend Alan Donegan and the Rebel Business School. Google it and you'll be amazed. Alan's a great guy. Educate yourself and then monetize that education. Don't flip houses. There's high competition there. It's heavily taxed. Instead, you can flip websites, Facebook groups, Twitter accounts, YouTube accounts. You just contact the owner, particularly if it's sort of lapsing and not really going anywhere. You acquire it from them, and then you inject your own energy and enthusiasm into it. With the YouTube accounts, where it might start off, you need to get a faceless account, or you could go from Ian's investing to Ian and Dave's investing, then eventually you boot out Ian and it's Dave's investing, and then away you go. Or you could flip organic tofu burgers. A coach can help. They've been there, they've done that, they keep you accountable, they're a sounding board to bounce ideas off. And the best way to find a coach is via YouTube, as you really see them in action and you get to know them. It's not a shock when you suddenly meet them. Who the hell are you? Look them up on LinkedIn. All the credible people are there. Connect on LinkedIn. So in summary, to retire in 15 years, you need to reduce your expenditure, boost your income, such you have a 55% savings rate consistently over that period. But this is only possible by thinking differently to how you've done in the past, and by thinking differently and propositioning yourself differently to other people. That's how you stand out. That's how you make decent amounts of money. Find examples of people who've been successful and reach out to others via platforms such as LinkedIn. Like the video, subscribe, and the next video I want you to watch is this one, which is all about the numbers to make it work for you such that you can retire early.